Hi there and hello, my name is Connor. 今日の動画では kinoue64 の日常消滅について話しています。Hello, we are going to be talking about the new-ish album from kinoue64. From what I can tell, kinoue64 is only comprised of one member, and that one member is named Takuto Kinoshita. I specified their newest album so far because he comes out with a lot of albums all the time. In 2024 alone, kinoue64 released 3 albums. So in this video, we are talking about Nichijou Shoumetsu, which means Everyday Extinction, and I absolutely love that title. I believe this is my second time talking about kinoue64, with the first time being in my Bandcamp video from about 2 months ago. In that video, I talked about how much I love their music, and also how much I loved this album in particular, and now that we are finally making some headway on my backlog, I can now finally talk about this thing. So I think the first time that I listened to this album was probably on the train ride home, which was about 1 hour long from the airport, and I had just come back from my most recent trip to Tokyo, and I was exhausted, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw this thing on, see how it is, and I did really like it. But man, there were so many noisy people on the train, I just could not hear the music. But what I did know is that I really enjoyed what I could hear. With that said, I do have to admit that I do really love this album. This album has these absolutely crazy infectious guitar melodies and pounding percussion. It just sounds so industrial and noisy. There are these fuzzy effects on pretty much everything, and they are the absolute cherry on top, and they totally fit this album's vibe too, I think. That said, the album's very first song, which is titled Who Are You, is a wonderful introduction to this sound, I think. And you might be wondering, well, what is that sound specifically? I think this album is like true neutral noise rock. It is absolutely noise rock to its core. This album is just noise after noise after noise after noise. Holy shit, he just released a new song. I just got a notification about it right now. What the hell? It's actually crazy. Here, I'll see if I can take a screenshot of it. Yeah, it's like right there. That's crazy. That's insane, actually. Holy shit. Holy shit. Now, I will say there is a little bit of electronica mixed into every single song. However, I would still call this album primarily indie rock, indie punk, and just kind of indie noise in general. I guess if you did have to boil it down to a single genre, I would just call it experimental rock. All of the songs on here are so catchy, and I feel like they really show off Takuto's musical prowess just very, very well. Unfortunately, I can't really comment on the lyricism or the vocals on this album much at all, and that is because the vocals are heavily obstructed by the instrumental, so I can't really make out much of anything at all, which is okay, because after all, it's a noise album, you don't need to really hear everything, and I don't think, the lyrics are really made to be listened to in that way. On top of that too, the high pitch of the vocals make them really hard to make out as well. I don't necessarily think this is a flaw, but I will say that I do think it's a part of the style and the presentation, so for that reason, I totally accept it. The final song of this album is the title track, and I think it is a perfect closing song. There is something about the way in which this song is composed that really has this real defined sense of finality to it, and I absolutely love when albums do that. It's not easy, and I love it when they're successful. The sense of finality, I would say, is likely due to the very heavy boosted, heavy kick drum arrangement on this song. It is just so indicative of the theme, and I just think it sounds awesome here. For now, that's really all I have to say about this album. I like it a lot, and frankly, I really like kinoue64's entire discography too. And in fact, I actually own it all on Bandcamp because I could. With that said, I am going to rate this album an 8 out of 10. I love pretty much every single song here. I do, however, feel like the songs and the album as a whole are kind of one note, but I think that is very indicative due to the way that he wanted to present the album with this very specific sound. And this album isn't very long, it's also not too short. I really do think it is more of a happy medium, and honestly, I don't really want anything messed with that. So while yes, it technically is one note for me, I don't really mind in this specific instance on this specific album. I think it works fine. Though I would have liked a little bit more variation, but that's okay too. And I do also wish the mixing was a little bit cleaned up too. I think it's fine, I think it's serviceable. I just wish it was like a wee bit more defined in every way. I will say it's a little muddy sounding, but it is an experimental noise rock album, so I get it. And oh my god, can I just say, I love the cover. It's so cool looking. And also too, it does kind of get some bonus points. Not actually, but it does kind of get some bonus points just because it's in front of the Tokyo Skytree. And I love that area. I don't think many people do. I really do though. Maybe if you've noticed, that is where my video outro is shot. So, you know, maybe that's a little hint for how much I like that area. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have to go over. That's all I have to be really analytical about and critical about. And I guess finally, if you do like some of that bizarro electronic rock noise, I think you will like this album a lot, and I think you will like kinoue64's other albums too, because they are a lot like this. So anyway, thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one as always, and bye as always.